In 2019, Trippie Redd released his project A Love Letter to You 4. It went on to reach #1 on the Billboard Top 200 with 104,000 first week sales. This would be his 4th album to chart in the top 10. If we look at his music career as of today, however, it is a completely different story. Trippie Redd has had a constant decrease in album sales since A Love Letter to You 4, and his latest project, St. Michael, failed to reach the charts, which means he couldn't even sell over 7,000 copies. So how did Trippie Redd fall from platinum certifications to competing with underground artists? We'll begin with a bit of important context. At the young age of 20, Trippie Redd had already seen so much success, and he had earned himself a spot as one of the biggest up-and-coming artists in the rap game. Before Trippie's peak with OT4, the artist was consistently increasing in first week sales, with the exception of exclamation mark? I don't know how you meant to say that album's name. In fact, Trippie never really managed to come close to his #1 album, not even OT5, which sold 3 times less than its predecessor, and I bet Trippie was banking on that one to help get his career back on track. If we compare Trippie to Lil Uzi Vert, who blew up around the same time as Mr. Redd, we can see their careers went down completely different paths, as Uzi managed to sustain his success and consistently sell way over 100k. Where exactly did it go wrong for Trippie Redd?
He was special.
The most common opinion seems to be that Trippie simply lost his passion for music. Now this may not make any sense considering the amount he drops, but we'll get to that later. One thing every artist aims for is having a #1 album, right? Well, Trippie managed to achieve that goal very early on in his career, which could explain the drop off in album sales and even the quality of his music since then. In fact, Trippie achieved most things in the earlier stages of his music career. His first mixtape contained the song Love Scars, which has remained on his 10 most popular songs to this day. It was a massive hit. When you've been releasing music for this long, it's almost impossible to not lose any drive or motivation, especially considering it's probably all Trippie has known since his teenage years. I mean, the artist was 17 years old when Love Scars released. How was he meant to sustain the same passion and energy when he's already accomplished so much in the rap industry? And this wouldn't be the first artist that this has happened to either. Most people would thrive when they have something to strive for, so when Trippie Redd got rich and comfortable, he simply couldn't produce the same quality of music as he did when he was under pressure. The quote, "Success can lead to complacency, and complacency is the greatest enemy of success," sums up Trippie's current situation with incredible accuracy. Now what we're not about to do in this video is discredit the amount that death to close friends could impact an artist. In the year 2018, Trippie lost close friend and collaborator XXXTentacion, and in just the following year he would experience the same heartbreak all over again with Juice WRLD's passing. Trippie and X had a turbulent relationship, but any arguments would always result in them making up. And setting aside the disagreements, the two came together to make one of the most streamed rap/R&B songs of all time. Trippie considered X his brother and even dedicated the exclamation mark album to the artist. But like I said, the pain wouldn't end there for Trippie, and he lost Juice WRLD the next year. In fact, Trippie has more songs with Juice than he did with X that we know of. And once again, the two were extremely close. Losing close friends in back-to-back years would have a massive impact on anyone, so it's no surprise that Trippie couldn't return to previous form when 2 of his massive inspirations were no longer there. XXXTentacion and Juice WRLD collaborate with Trippie on songs like Fuck Love and 1400/999 Freestyle, which are a couple of Trippie's most popular songs. And it's obvious that the friendship between them was a huge factor in Trippie creating better music. They were able to inspire and learn from each other, but it's not as if they were just collaborators to Trippie, which means that the toll on his mental health would obviously translate into his music career, especially since the two are so closely linked. I feel like a lot of people give Ski Master Slump God a pass due to the passing of his close friends, but forget the exact same thing happened to Trippie Redd. We'll now move back into self-inflicted errors with something I mentioned earlier, which is that Trippie Redd releases a lot of albums, perhaps too much. If we include deluxe editions, the artist has released 15 projects in the span of 6 years. Last year alone, he dropped 3 projects, with each of them being below par in terms of quality. Mansion Music in particular was obliterated by rap fans and critics, for good reason. Like most of his recent work, it was incredibly bloated, which stems from Trippie not stepping out of his comfort zone and just putting out average work. In the earlier years of Trippie's career, he was much more experimental, especially with albums like Life's a Trip, which is what really took his career to the next level. The album contained 14 songs that all fit perfectly on the album, as opposed to the 20 plus you often see now. If Trippie wants to continue making long projects, he needs to make sure that each song has a place on the album. Ulti 4 was 21 songs long, but it's still one of the best in his discography. Ultimately, as Trippie got less experimental, he released more music, as his new sound was much easier to make. So it's no surprise fans quickly got tired of his sound. I mean, there's only so much you can listen to any artist before you start to get worn out. If he had dropped just one album in which he put all of his effort into, the negative chatter about Trippie Redd and this video wouldn't exist. He is way too talented to continuously put out average projects. I mean, just look at the amount of hype Playboi Carti has at the minute. Since his last album was great, people have eagerly been awaiting his new body of work. And since it's been so long, the artist has hardly needed to do anything to generate awareness for his new album. Now take that and compare it to Trippie Redd. The contrast is blatant. In fairness, Saint Michael was probably some of the best music Trippie has dropped in a minute, yet it sold less than he has ever sold before, with version 2 failing to appear on the charts at all. Now, once again, to be fair to Trippie, the project was a surprise drop with a smaller amount of songs on it, but the fact it sold so little clearly shows how tired fans have become of Trippie's music in 2023, as they weren't even willing to give his new project a chance. It's not as if Trippie Redd is too far gone. If he wants to make a return to the mainstream, he can. All he needs to do is concentrate his effort on one project, take some time away from music, find new inspiration, and come back with a well-crafted album where he takes time in putting together the track list, instead of just releasing the last 20 songs he has made. Let's bring back the Lil Uzi comparison. Since 2017, Uzi has only dropped 6 projects, which is a massive difference from Trippie's 15. And the benefit of dropping less projects is evident in Uzi's first week sale numbers, as he is yet to drop below 100k, aside from the Red and White EP, which was just a bunch of throwaways before Pink Tape. Now you may be thinking, surely it's better for the fans of an artist if the artist drops more music, but in Trippie's case, it's not, because it's not as if he makes quality music every time, so it ends up being seriously detrimental to his career. The artist went from having one of the most unique voices and sounds in the industry that people were excited to listen to struggling to even getting his biggest fans to tune into his new music. I mean, let's take a couple of songs, for example Dark Knight Dummo or Taking a Walk, and compare those to Pepe Lit or Crazy Train, in fact any song on Mansion Music. The difference is honestly mind-blowing, and it's sad to see how Trippie's career has turned out so far. Now, you may not think it, but I am actually a fan of Trippie Redd. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out this one, explaining how Trippie created a whole genre with one song. See, I don't only have negative things to say about him.
No, bro. I ain't got no bitches, bro. You got bitches? I got niggas. You got niggas? I'm out this bitch.